Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Saraswati Vyasam Tato before reciting the stream of Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest. One should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, on Narayana the Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta Pareshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavad Gita Shloke, Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyantimarandasya Yananjana Shrakaya Chakshurim Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangolangayati Girim Yat Kripatadaham Vande Shri Guru Dinetarinam. I offer my respectful obeisance unto my spiritual master, deliverer of the fallen souls. His mercy turns the dumb into eloquent speakers, enables the lame to cross mountains. Haribol. Today we're looking at Canto 10, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 27, I believe. Indra and Surabhi offer prayers. So
From 1 to 7, focusing on 5.
1 to 7. Okay. Hare Krishna, Radha Gopina, feeling your magic. Everyone's doing good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Shukadeva Swami said, after Krishna had lifted Govardhan Hill and thus protected the inhabitants of Raj from the terrible rainfall, Surabhi, the mother of the cows, came from her plant to see Krishna. She was accompanied by Indra. Indra was very ashamed of having offended the Lord. Approaching him in a solitary place, Indra fell down and lay his helmet, whose effulgence was as brilliant as the sun, upon the Lord's lotus feet. Indra had now heard of and seen the transcendental power of omnipotent Krishna, and his false pride in being the Lord of the three worlds was thus defeated. Holding his hands together in supplication, he addressed the Lord as follows. King Indra said, your transcendental form, manifestation of pure goodness, is undisturbed by change, shining with the knowledge and devoid of passion and ignorance. And it does not exist the mighty flow of the modes of material nature, which is based on illusion and ignorance. How then could there exist in you the symptoms of an ignorant person, such as greed, lust, anger, and envy, which are produced by one's previous involvement in material existence, and which cause one to become further entangled in material existence? And yet, as the Supreme Lord, you impose punishment to protect religious principles and curb down the wicked. You are the father and spiritual master of this entire universe, and also its supreme controller. You are insurmountable time, imposing punishment upon the sinful for their own benefit. Indeed, in your various incarnations, selected by your own free will, you act decisively to move the false pride of those who presume themselves masters of this world. Yeah, all right. Who's the fool? Even fools like me proudly think themselves universal lords, quickly give up their conceit and take to the path of the spiritual progress when they see you as fearless, even in the face of time. Thus, you punish the mischievous only to instruct them. Jack, we're looking at number 5. Is that right? Kuto nutat te tava isatat krita. Lababdayo ye Buddha Linga Bhava. Tathapi Dandang Bhagavan Paparti. Dharmasya Guptyai Kalanigrahaya. Tatkrita. Labaya Linga Bhava. Tatapi Dandang Bhagavan Babharti. Dharmasya Guptyai Kalanigrahaya. Kuto natat de tava isha tat krita. Yad Buddha Linga Bhava. Tathapi Dandang Bhagavan Vibharti. Dharmasya Gupyai Kala Nigrahaya. Excellent. Kutaha. How? Do certainly touch of that existence of the material body. Hetavaha, the causes. Isha, O Lord. Tatkrita, produced by one's connection with the material body. Loba adaya, greed and so forth. Yea, which a Buddha of an ignorant person. Lingabhava, symptoms. Tata api, nevertheless. Dandam, punishment. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vibharati, wields. Dharmasya, of the principles of religion. Guptyai, for the protection. Kala, of wicked persons. Nigrahaya, for the chastisement. Translation. How then could there exist in you the symptoms of an ignorant person, such as greed, lust, anger, and envy, which are produced by one's free material existence, and which cause one to become further entangled in material existence? Yet, as the Supreme Lord, you impose to protect religious principles and curb down the wicked. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It's a page and a third. All right. The complex philosophical statement by Indra may be analyzed as follows. In the first line of this verse, Indra refers to the main idea expressed at the end of the previous verse, namely that the great currents of material existence, which are based on ignorance, cannot possibly exist within the Supreme Lord. The words tat dedava and tat krita indicate that some causes the modes of nature to manifest, and that they in turn become the cause of that which caused them. In the second line of this verse, we find that it is material feelings such as greed,
Last. Angry.
envy. I'm sorry, it is lust. That's the first one. Envy and anger that cause the methods or the modes of nature to manifest, and that are themselves caused by the modes of nature. The example of this seeming paradox is as follows. When the conditioned
So,
decides to associate with the material qualities, he becomes
disgusting. Eaten. Taste.
give me contaminated by those qualities. As stated in the Gita 13:22, Karanam guna sangasya said Asadyoni Janmastri. For example, in the presence of a seductive woman, a man may give to his lower instincts and try to enjoy sex with her. By his deciding to associate with the lower qualities of nature, those qualities manifest in him very powerfully. He is overwhelmed with
Anger.
lust and driven to try again and again to satisfy his burning desire. Yeah. Because his
Mind.
has been affected by
Right.
lust, all that he does, thinks, and speaks will be influenced by his strong attachment to sex. In other words, by choosing to associate with the lusty qualities of nature, he has caused them to be powerfully manifest within himself. And eventually, those lusty qualities themselves will cause him to accept another material body suitable for affairs governed by those qualities. The lower qualities, such as lust, greed, anger, and envy, are a Buddha Linga Bhava, symptoms of ignorance. Indeed, as indicated by Srila Sridhar Swami in his commentary, the manifestation of the modes of nature is synonymous with the manifestation of a particular material body. It is clearly explained throughout the Vedic that the conditioned soul receives a particular,
Body.
gives it up, and then accepts another simply because of his involvement in the modes of nature. Karanam guna sangasya. Thus, to say that one is participating in the modes of nature is to say that one is accepting particular
Or
types of bodies suitable for the particular
material.
material qualities
One.
is involved with. An ignorant bystander might have simplistically interpreted Krishna's past of lifting overdone as follows. The residents of Vrindavan are obliged by Vedic principles to make certain offerings to the god of heaven, Indra. Child Krishna, ignoring the position of Indra, usurped these offerings and took them for his own pleasure. When Indra tried to punish Krishna and his associates, the Lord frustrated Indra's attempt, humiliating him and exhausting his pride and resources. One last paragraph. But this superficial interpretation is refuted in this verse. Here, Lord Indra addresses Sri as Bhagavan, indicating that he is not an ordinary child, in fact, God. There, Krishna's punishing Indra was part of his mission of protecting religious principles and curbing down the envious. It was not a display of material anger or of greed for the offerings meant for Indra. Sri, his pure spiritual existence, and his simple sublime desire is to engage all living beings in the perfect, blissful, full life of consciousness. Krishna's desire to make us Krishna conscious is not egotistical, since ultimately Krishna is everything. And Krishna consciousness is objectively the best consciousness. Lord is really the humble servant of Krishna. In fact, he's now beginning to
Hey.
remember. Jai Haribol. Oh, it was to Srila Prabhupada. You did a great job, Bruce. Okay, let's look at it like this. Um, Indra's made a few mistakes here and there, and he's done it a few times. That's a fact. This is another instance where he, let's say, took it that Krishna is puffed up, and when he is actually puffed up. It is said here that lust, anger, greed, and envy are, let's say, anarthas. The first three that are mentioned, lust, anger, and greed, kam, krodh, lobh, they lead one to hell. Sorry to say. It's just the way it is. But regulations of these different fields is different. Okay? So one can be regulated with sex by being devoted to a person, having children through that person and just sticking it out, you know. And this is proper sex. Then we have anger. Is it good to be angry? No. Can one be angry? Sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
And that's when one is trying to defend, protect someone, like Hanuman said, you rascal, Rama, you jerk, more or less. He was very angry, right? And he had to be. Krishna was angry with Arjuna. Hey, man, what's going on? Fool number one, Prabhupada said, fool number one. He was angry in the beginning, but Krishna softened up after a while. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was angry. Chakra. But it didn't quite happen. So, so really, we're looking at, he was threatening. It looked bad. That chakra coming down, being summoned, really intimidated Madai, Jagai and Madai. Madai was the worst out of the two. If you're trying to remember which went through the pot and started the blood flowing, Anityananda, it's Madai, mud. I had one person on my first walk across Canada, and he was from the UK, and his guru gave him the name Madai because I guess he had a bad, history, before he became a devotee. His name is actually Michael Cotton, but he was given the name Madai. So he was driving, and by the way, he's an interesting person. I didn't know he had a criminal record. Anyways, but he was driving, and he was leaving me off of the spot from where I left off the day before. And this happened a few times. He'd drive up, to try to find out where we were. We didn't have cell phones in those days. So he's just driving up and down. And at some point, I mean, I guess he's so enwrapped in his thoughts and, he just passed right by. After he passed, hey, Madai! Finally, he'd meet us. Madai, did you have mud in your eye that you couldn't see me? So Jagai and Madai were, under fire by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then envy, I guess envy can be somehow challenged as well. We talk about these things in the play that we've done, the Age of Kali, how things can be transitioned. Okay, but there is a place. There's a place for these particular qualities. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. So it's a West Side Story, if you want to know what the origins of that song is. And it's very beautiful because it's very inclusive. There's a place. There's a place for these nasties. And we just gave some examples. And they are born of, like, say, for instance, lust is born of passion, one of the three gunas, you know, it's there in the Bhagavad Gita. Passion produces lust. And lust is identified by Lord Krishna as that particular trait that blocks our spiritual progress. Right? Now, still, we may have lust, and I do get that question, and quite a lot. I get that question about lust. Maharaj, everything's doing good for me, but I still have lust. And my response is, Jai ho, you're normal. You're normal. Now you just have to know how to channel that lust, how to dovetail it. you know? Most people will deal with lust by regulating it. And we discussed that a little earlier. Regulate, don't just be like a jackass. Regulate it. Hey, we were playing with lions the other day, and they're the king of the jungle. They're, especially the males, king of the jungle. But they have certain mating seasons. It's not like any old time, any old place. And they're not going around looking at pornography to get excited. Think about it. You don't have to be an idiot. Lust can be controlled by other persons who wish to have a lifelong commitment in that area, and they've learned the art to know how to deal with the spurts of lust when they come up. They don't just kind of fall apart. You basically just know how to deal with it. Maybe pick up a drum and beat the hell out of it and chant for Krishna, right? Now, that doesn't mean that if you hear one of the brahmacharis or, playing mridanga really hard, that, oh, he's having lust spasms or something like that. It doesn't mean that necessarily, okay? But there's a way to channel, the way to dovetail these things and keep very engaged. Keep very engaged. That's the way to deal with that. We will answer questions after, okay? And so anger also comes from these three guna. From three guna comes at least, there's four qualities here. There's six, which are, lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion are sometimes highlighted, but they are born of the three gunas. Okay. They exist within, and they're very much present, and they cause one to be further entangled. This is the problem. They keep you engaged. Because they're masters. They're like slave drivers. Like sometimes we feel like we're in the gallows, working in the gallows. Do you know what gallows are? Those are the guys who are rowing the big ships. Like this, they're slaves.
Yeah.
And if you're slowing down or getting tired, some guy would go, so whip you on the back. Oh, okay, and then keep going again. This is so cruel the way people have dealt with each other in the past and still do to this day. Maybe there's less physical attack, but there's a lot of mental, let's say, imposition on people's lives. Okay. So the three gunas are identified, and they're addressed right in the first shloka from the Bhagavatam, this book. And they stay with us. And they're also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita throughout. Three gunas, lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion, arise from these particular modes or energies. They are energies. That's what they are. I called them energies once in one of our temples in Canada, and a devotee who's senior to me said, "They are not energies." She's She studies Sanskrit, so she thinks she's a little bit of a pundit. They are not energies. Well, what are they then? They're coming from the energetic. They have influenced all of us. They are energies. You can call them modes, but for a common person, maybe you want to use the word energy. Everyone understands energy more than mode, right? So we've got these energies, and if used properly through regulation, they can work in your favor. They can work in your favor. And that's what our Krishna consciousness is all about. The philosophy is about dovetailing what you've got in Krishna service. And what do you have? You have all of these things. You have all of them. And we're just kind of like turning them into a favorable way. Yesterday we walked on the path, from Eaton's Mall right to the waterfront. And we had to bend a little bit. It wasn't like a straight line because we asked different security guards, is a straight line down there? No, 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 no. You have to twist and turn. You have to bend a little bit. Follow the signs. By the way, that's how you regulate your life. Follow the signs. Follow the directives. Don't just follow your heart necessarily. Don't just follow your feelings. That gets people into trouble. But follow the directives, how to deal with those energies, or how to deal with those particular, what we call Kali's, let's say cohorts, Kali's cohorts. How do you channel them? Channeling must happen. It has to happen. Now, here in Canada, they're always talking about, getting gas, gas pipelines, and this becomes very controversial. Uh, but there's a demand, oil, gas. They tried to make it, these what conduits, that's what they call it, I think, conduits, straight
Convicts.
west. And I said it right, conduit.
Yes, convicts.
Okay. And sometimes the conduits can't do it, meaning you might have to make a turn, If you're constructing these pipelines, maybe there's a mountain in the way. Well, maybe you can bore a hole in the mountain. That's what they did with some of the railway lines. But maybe there's an easier way to do it. Maybe there's a better way to do it. Maybe there's a big river flowing in there. What are you going to do? You might have to go under a bit more. You have to, kind of adjust yourself a little bit. Well, learn the art of life really is to know how to move nicely. And it's in a forest, any forest, like some of us, kind of said, you remember we did the Bruce Trail? I started from the southernmost part where they have it's at Queenston Heights. And there's the replica, little stand there to honor General Brock. He got killed, by the Americans. Then, but remember what it was like. I mean, people love the Bruce Trail. It's up, it's down, it's got to curve around. It's a challenge. That's why they like it. And there's some real champs that have done it in like record time, running that trail. And there are certain parts of the trail where you have those kind of like those rocks, sediments that kind of like you wobble. So when you walk the Bruce Trail, you have to really keep your eyes on the ground. There are some flat areas, and this Bruce Trail goes all the way up to Tobermory. Remember, we went to your old house. Yeah.
Was also there.
Vaishnav.
He was also there with us at the beginning.
At the beginning, yes, at the beginning, yes, with his daughter and her now husband. Yeah. So it's really it's a beautiful trail. honestly. And many people do it in sections. But my point is that when you move in the world, it's never a straight line. I mean, that would just be bland. It would be boring. When I walked across Canada, I've had a lot of ride offers by truck drivers. And one of the reasons is they would just want to talk to somebody, especially in the prairies where it's very flat and straight. And just, you know, so they just want to talk to somebody. They want to make friends. And you don't think truck drivers would be interested in a spiritual person, dressed like this, but they are. I remember one day there was a trucker he pulled over in Saskatchewan. Would you like a ride? I said, no, thank you very much. I'm walking, you know, I'm walking. I really appreciate your offer, but I have to do this walk. And it's the kind of thing monks do. So I says, okay, all right. Then he'd drive off back onto the Trans-Canada Highway after stopping his whole operation. And then another guy pulled up. Hey, you're looking for a ride? I'd give the same mantras. And then he took off, and another one came, one right after another. So I was thinking, this is ridiculous. I'm not moving at all here. But sometimes straight is bland. Sometimes it's necessary. Bhakti yoga is supposed to be like a straight route, like an elevator. You can do the stairway if you like. It's not a problem. We had one fellow from Australia here. That was some years back in the 80s. And he was a professional runner. And he came to Toronto to do the big race. Where was the race? CN Tower. And he didn't get the first prize. Someone else did from somewhere else. They said he's built like a tank. And he was able to go up those stairs, to get to the top. So stairs can be advantageous sometimes, as opposed to an elevator. Elevator can make you a little bit lazy. Everyone knows there's hurdles along the way, even for a straight road. There's cracks. In fact, I remember walking and seeing the guys coming in, putting those rubber kind of wet rubber things, stringy things into the cracks, so that there would be less damage done by, let's say, the weight of the trucks or the rain coming down or the fluctuation from the heat to the cold. So I'd meet all these guys, I'd meet everybody. I also met one guy who was he was driving wide loads, houses. He was driving houses across the prairies, and every day. And then I finally met him in Dryden, Ontario. And he said, he said, well, it was Canada Day, and he pulled over and said, how's it going? I've been seeing you quite a bit. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, I'm the guy that's doing the wide loads. Now, oh, you're the one that makes me get off the road. So straight can be helpful, but you also need a little change. Change of scenery is not a bad thing, right? It's really not a bad thing. So that's why Krishna's made the world kind of colorful. If it's not this mode, it's that mode. Again, the three energies. They compete for dominance, isn't it? Do you feel that sometimes? Sometimes I'm so angry about something, and you don't want to be angry, but you are angry over an issue. And then that anger gets replaced by, kindness or something else, or maybe it gets replaced with lust. And then lust replaces itself with greed. They're always competing. The goodness, passion, and ignorance are the three modes. Let's get back to three energies. And they are competing for this dominance. Just like in countries where they have democracy, you oftentimes have two or three parties. What do we have here? Liberals, conservatives, and we have the NDP, right? And we have Green Party, but they're small in number. No, so that they're always fighting for, to win the favor of the citizens. In America, it's the Republicans and the
Democrats.
Democrats. And then there's sometimes another group that comes up, starts to get some interest, but doesn't get too much mileage. So just remember, you're a victim. Somebody's trying to control you, and you have to just kind of play with it a little bit. But if you know how to use the modes in Krishna service, it's not so bad. If you want to know how to use lust and anger and greed in Krishna service, that's also not so bad. It's an art. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Let's put a plug in for Bhakti Academy or Prabhupada's Sadhana program. It's here for, to help regulate us. How many times did he use the word regulata principles? How many times? So many. So many letters he wrote to his own disciples. Follow these principles. And then we can overcome. We shall overcome. This Indra and Surabhi are offering prayers. Indra's, did you catch on who's speaking here, Prabhus?
Indra is speaking.
Yeah, that's right. He's speaking. And he's not on the list of the Mahajans that we talked about before. He's not. He didn't make it. He didn't make it on the list because he's naughty a lot of times. But when he's not naughty, he's great. He's great. And we got a little piece of the action this morning. We were walking in his fog. It's his fog, isn't it? Doesn't he create fog? Is there a fog god? I don't think so. I think it's Indra. Is there a snow god? I think it's all in his hands. Indra. We have to accept him, and he does a good job at keeping us humble. So does Vayu, so does Surya, so does Chandra. They keep us from being too puffed up. And that's the case. Indra got puffed up, and Krishna was trying to correct him. And where there's correction, there's sometimes punishment. In chapter 10 from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does talk about his opulences. And, he does talk about punishment. Yamaraj. So all glories to Yamaraj, all glories to Indra. You have a question? You want to make a remark? Yeah.
Could it be the calm, the lust?
How to calm the lust?
Calm is the lust.
Kama.
Calm.
Yeah. What about it?
I just want to know karma is.
Oh yeah, kama's lust. Yeah. How do you calm kama? That's the question. Engagement. Maybe the food is too spicy. Make her tone down on the.
And Shiva was being was by calm being and the lust to make marriage.
Yeah. And he stayed with Parvati. He stayed with her. That's how you control your lust. Don't just jump around like some, wild ape, some rabbit.
Is an ignorant? It is ignorance or something.
Ignorance. Yeah, but is it ignorance? Well, he got married. He was lusty over, one time he was lusty over Vishnu, who had a sex change, was Mohini Murti. But because he was lusty after Vishnu, he was, we don't critique him. And when he was running after her, his semen was spilling. And when it landed, it was gold. That's our understanding of gold. They've got some, there's a lot of gold still up north. And maybe Sheila's been around. Maybe we came around. Anyways, he's not to be taken to be a lusty person. He's very detached, like a Vairagi. He's very admirable. His life is so simple, isn't it? And Prabhupada did use the term Grihastha Brahmachari.
Mm.
You could be a Grihastha, but live really simple. Okay, did you want to say something?
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful class. My question is from the first verse that we read that it is mentioned that Indra came with Survika from her planet. So
From her?
planet, Alsh.
Oh, yes, surely.
Yeah, here it is mentioned that that came from her planet to see Krishna. So which planet she is talking about? It means Golok.
That's a very good question, and I don't think I can answer it, to be honest with you.
I thought she came from where Indra came from, which was heaven.
Because they're together. They are there, yes. I mean, Surabhi also appeared from the churning of the ocean of milk, right? She appeared, that's how she first was manifest. You know. Yes.
There are ceramic cows in both places, but this one came from Indra's place. The other was because she came on behalf of Indra.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of Surabhis. One of our devotees is named Surabhi. He lives in Brampton. Rajasi's wife is Surabhi. Such a wonderful lady. Good. Any other points? Okay.
I just wanted to say, Maharaj, can we do like how you walk across Canada? Can you do a mini walk across Toronto with you?
Yeah, we can do something like that. We could do like Eglinton or something like that. It goes diagonally.
Yeah, something like
Or we could go on the waterfront.
yeah.
What do you want to start at? What's the name of the place next to Toronto? West. No, that's east. What's the other one? No, just east of Toronto. Etobicoke. You want to start at Etobicoke? Do you want to cross the 6th? Is that what you want to do? Scarberia, do you want to include that?
We can also go from up to down or down to up.
Downtown.
Or we can go from, go from up north and then come down to waterfront.
Do you want to start at the beginning of Yonge Street?
Yeah.
Okay, that is just under 1,000 kilometers.
Okay, we can do that.
It's at a place called Rainy River.
So,
And it goes all, it's Highway 11, it goes all the way north and it comes down. But we can do Toronto if you want. I'd be happy to do that.
yeah, it's just like,
To stay on the streets and meet people along the way. Take little breaks here and there by little parkettes. Well, why don't we start near, where does it actually start at Eglinton? Can you find out right now? On the west side. And now it has a, what do you call it, a subway line, so people can follow us. And it goes diagonally, and it ends up on the eastern side by the lake. By the lake. We can try to do one Saturday like that, if you like. I did it in Detroit for 2 summers in a row. Detroit was full of crime, but people loved us there. Hey, they'd say, where you guys been? You know, we went through a lot of black neighborhoods, like some of the real rundown neighborhoods. Then the rain came down. We went into a house, an abandoned house, you know, where people steal the copper wires and they steal even the toilets. And we were rained and rained, and we had to wait for them. Some of us had to pee, so there's just a hole in the ground. Okay, Haribol. Is anybody up for walking?
Up for that.
You're up for that one. Is Eglinton a good? Would you
Yeah.
like?
I'm really bad at geography. Yeah.
Okay,
So
it's kind of east-west, but we can start west
we can
and
reach-
ending up at the lake. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way.
Nice.
And then people can join us along the way. Somebody can just stay on the phone. And,
We could like encourage the youth to join us.
yeah, it'll be a youth program, and then we can have a pizza break. Somebody can make some prashadam and
Yeah,
have it
okay.
ready, and then you can live.
In the
What
summer.
is the length of the Eglinton? Anybody know? And where does it start? In the West End.
33 kilometers.
It's not bad.
Live.
Where does it start?
At Western?
The western side. It might start in Malton or something like that. Okay, Toronto, Mississauga border, that's where England meets. Okay. Mississauga's not part of Toronto. We can still do Mississauga too.
Yes, what are they?
Okay, well, I think people are gonna be okay with 23.
सिमरन ठाकुर की जय हो.
Thank you for voice. We got back.